Turner's Micro Jig has been around from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Some other people made it, but it sort of disappeared from the shelves. It was made with a collar, and on the collar they put a heat sink to hold the marabou and some type of tape, clear tape, over the heat sink and the marabou. The marabou would shine through, giving it a little bit longer body. It came in a 10 by 40 millimeter plastic tube, and it was on the shelves of the trout parks and even at Bass Pro Shop. And they came in three sizes. The first was a 100 on a size 12 Aberdeen hook, and then there was a 164 on a size 10 Aberdeen hook. The beginning picture was a 132. Thanks, Ken Olive. He sent me a bunch of original jigs so I could see how to tie the marabou, which wasn't very much. I'm going to tie Turner's Micro Jig. This is one that I found in one of the old molds I had. Typically, that little tab there would not be on there. It would be all round. And they would somehow put a heat sink on to hold on the marabou, and then some type of clear tape. I left that little tab on. I cut it out of the mold so it wouldn't break off. So I figured I could take and tie on my string, or my thread, and that little tab will keep my thread in place. Turner's Micro Jigs were really popular in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. There's three sizes that I know of: a 100, a 164, and a 132. This John Deere color was really popular. There was a brown, there's a black, a yellow, a gray, pink, orange. And I'll try to show you some of those combinations after I get finished tying this. What they would do, they would take a clump of marabou, and they would take it from the lower part, this area here. And I think they took a bigger clump. I'm taking a smaller clump because of that tab. I got to put it on both sides. So I'm going to take a clump of the marabou, and they would approximately use, or it would be from the head about an inch. So as you can see, the inch would cover just about that tail, or that edge of that hook. So I'm going to tie on each side of that tab. So I'm going to raise it up. I'm going to spin my bobbin counterclockwise. That's going to help the thread to jump up and go towards the back. Good. It's about right. There's not much, but I'm going to be doing on both sides, which will, and maybe just a little more bulk than they had, but not much more. And I lost my feather. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to take another small little bunch of feathers. Measure about an inch. And I found out that when I'm cutting my marabou, sometimes it was a little bit longer, so I measured a couple times. And I think we're good. Now I'm going to put it on this other side. I'm going to spin my bobbin to the right. It's going to come up, grab that marabou. Okay. And as I said, it was very sparse, the marabou. To me, this looks sparse, but I think they had it even sparser. Get a little long here. I don't think the hairs matter. Then you tie it down. I can't go over that little tab. And they would put a clear plastic or something over top to secure the marabou. What I'm going to do is build up a thread base right by my tab. And I've tried to match the color the best I can of the marabou. So it gives it a like elongated body with the short little tails. I get a whip finish. It wants to slide past that tail, past my tab, and I do not want that to happen. Okay, so now I've got that on there. You see I've got a little marabou sticking out here. I'm not too much worried about that because I'm going to put on a red collar, which will match the red heat sink I think that they used. And that should pull in those fibers. Because I'm doing a short collar, I'm going to wrap my thread, my tag end around my base of the master, and that way when I wind it, it's going to make sure that it's really locked in there. Trim. Now I'm going to whip finish. And there's my fly. I believe you could do that on a 100 round head. I think the body gives it the long body gives it a little more balance in the water than a round head. But if you can find those little jig heads, those micro jigs heads, you need to get yourself some. So that's simple as that. I can add a little super glue just to hold that thread there, and that's it. Thanks for watching.